like a video from the 80s on my MTV, but I assure you it's not. It's in the science, right guys? Let me see you dance. Come here, Gracie. There you go, all right. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Awesome, there you go. All right, there you go. Hey, everyone, no, I haven't lost my mind. Science, science. It's in the science. For those of you, come on, do you remember that? What was that? The Thomas Dolby, the Thompson twins? Remember those 80 jams? Oh, man. Okay, here's the thing. In spite of all the difficulties, life today is better than ever. Better than a year ago. Yeah, your life. Better than a decade ago. Better than a century ago. But oh, don't take my word for it, because you know me, I sit here every week and I spew out information about faith, looking up, great attitude, random acts of kindness. You know, you are what you think you are. Well, let me tell you what I know. For the past 10 years, actually 15 years, I've been following this guy, Dr. David Niven, not to be confused with the old actor, Dr. David Niven, who's a PhD, and he's a social scientist. And his latest book called Up, can you get a good view of that? See that? Called Up. A pragmatic look at the direction of life. 365 ways. He gives you 365 pages that today is the best time to be alive. Now, it sounds like I wrote the book, but I didn't. Something that I would say, right? Well, he has scientific research. Now, you may know him from, his other books are all white, about the 100 Simple Secrets of Happy People that he's been studying for many, many years. Well, with this book, he combats what I come up against, and that's people like, well, Joe, that's great, you know, it sounds nice and it's fluffy and Pollyannish, but that's the way you feel, that's the way you believe, and you know what? And it is. But in this book, he has just the facts, Jack. Years of studies, years of surveys, and scientific facts, and he talks about the fact that the media may not let you in on the fact that things are not as bad as they seem. Things aren't as gloomy as they are. Today is the best time to be alive. And for example, now each page, he talks about that, 365 different things. I just cited two for brevity for this video. Okay, the first one, he says, people really do care. It's remarkable. Often it doesn't make it to the newspaper, doesn't make it to the blogs, doesn't make it to the nightly news. But more people today are reaching out and helping people than ever in history. That's been documented. And he talks about, he starts off the very first page, he talks about Wesley Audrey, who was a man a couple of years back, you may have read about this, in New York City, in the subway, on the subway platform. All of a sudden he notices this man off to the side waiting for the subway. All of a sudden he's convulsing, he's having seizures. And he's looking at the guy, and he can't believe what he sees. The guy has a seizure and falls right off the platform, right down into the tracks. And he's like, everybody's looking around. This guy, Wesley, jumps down there, grabs him, but he can't move him. It's dead weight. He can't lift him. Next thing you know, he sees a train coming. Doesn't know what to do. He could have jumped right back and just let the guy die, basically, get run over by the train, but he didn't do that. That quickly, he said, you know what? He rolled him over in between the tracks, and Wesley put his body on top of the man who was having the seizure because he was still moving. And here comes the train. 4.5, 5 inches of clearance. That was it. And then when the train came, of course, they pulled it off. He was not harmed. He saved that man's life. We're talking extraordinary measures, and he cites in his book that a ton of those things are happening. Second thing, more time than ever before. We have more time. Now you may, oh, there's not enough time in a day. Today, you know, we're multitasking. We can't let our kids play the way they used to, so we got to run here, we got to run there. No, not true. He talks about the fact that today, you are more likely to live 3 decades. Do the math, that's 30 years. Longer. You will live 30 years longer if you were born after 1900. Or another way put, he says life expectancy has grown so much because of medical modern advances. It's remarkable. How remarkable it is? He states the number that in the last 100 years, our life expectancy has grown more just in the last 100 years, okay? In the last 100 years, our life expectancies have grown more than in the past 5,000. Incredible. If that's not good enough for you to think about looking up and things are really good out there and look on the bright side of life, he even gives examples about being lost. Being lost, what are you talking about? Explorers, Columbus, Christopher Columbus, Lewis and Clark. He said, people who explored, people who were on adventures, people who created history for us, he goes, they were lost most of the time. Today, there's no reason for us to get lost. You can have a map, GPS, which was created by the military. He goes, we have just a simple thing like a GPS. We don't realize you don't have to get lost anymore and waste time. Incredible. And I absolutely believe in that. So when you see me here jumping around and dancing and talking about science, it is in the science. We are living in the best age. Now, I don't need to be convinced of that. Like I said, I believe that it's not what happens to you, it's how you choose to respond to what happens to you in life that makes all the difference. I get up every day and I can choose my attitude no matter what's happening in my life. And I choose with the science or not, to believe that we should look up. Yep, have faith, but look up and believe things are getting better. My client, if you remember me talking to you about her, who's 104 years old, told me this is the best time of her life. She can't get over the things that are at her fingertips, and she still drives. She's scary, I know, but she's safe as she can. She has a license. 104 says this is the best time of her life. It's in the science. Make it a great day. One thing I can tell you without scientific facts or experiments, this is the only day you've got. So make the most of it. Why not? Thank you.